Hey now, I'm Dave Lemieux, and I'm here to talk about not Dave's Picks or a box set or anything like that, but a bit of a special thing we have going very soon, and that is the Grateful Dead's 11th annual meetup at the movies coming up June 22nd and June 24th. It's 2 nights again, just as it was last year with the Tivoli 1972 Europe 72 show. This is a magnificent show. It was originally scheduled to be the meetup at the movies in 2020, but then we obviously didn't do one, no theatrical showing then. So we're thrilled to get it out this year in 2023. And the show is from 32 years ago, from June 22nd, 1991 at Soldier Field in Chicago. Before I forget, because I always forget these things, you can head over to dead.net, the Grateful Dead's website, where you might be watching this, to see all the information about it and where to get tickets, most importantly, where it's playing near you. It's playing in hundreds of theaters, so it's probably playing quite near you. Or you can go to meetupatthemovies.com, meetupatthemovies.com, and I think it's just an enter your zip code or your city, and it'll say where it's playing. So it's playing a lot of places. It's even playing in my small hometown in a different country, so it's pretty cool. So June 22nd and June 24th coming up very soon, 2 nights. So the show, as I mentioned, June 22nd, 1991, 32 years ago right now. And it's from Soldier Field in Chicago, the Dead's first appearance there. Up until then, the Grateful Dead, when they played the Chicago area, had played Alpine, which is, I guess, sort of the Chicago-y area. And then the year before, 1990, Brent Midland's final shows with the Grateful Dead, they had played at the World Amphitheater in Tinley Park, just outside of Chicago. And then in 91, they started playing at Soldier Field, much bigger, but it gave, I think, more people the great Grateful Dead experience. And then, of course, 4 years later, in 1995, the Grateful Dead played their final show at Soldier Field, July 9th of 1995, and then 20 years after that, they returned for 3 shows for Fare Thee Well, the final performance with the 4 guys together on stage. Great shows. I was there for the last 2 of those. Great venue too. So the show itself, oh my gosh, this has been on the radar for release for literally decades. We never wanted to put it out as a Dick's Picks or a Road Trips or a Dave's Picks because of the video component. We always wanted to make sure that when we got to doing something with this show, it would involve the video component because it's a great video. The band looks great. Remember, this is the 2 keyboard arrangement of the Grateful Dead featuring Vince Welnick and Bruce Hornsby. And the band is just looking and sounding great. A week earlier, the Dead had played RFK Stadium, was released on DVD in 2001, 2002 as View from the Vault Volume 2. And then a few years ago, the Giant Stadium shows on June 16th and 17th of 91 were also released as part of the CD box set, the Giant Stadium box set. And then in the final show, the June 17th show, was released in theaters as part of the Meetup at the Movies program. And then the next shows, the shows that were right between Chicago and Giant Stadium, the 2 shows at Pine Knob, which were the only 2 shows I attended that summer, excellent shows by the way, they were released as part of the Grateful Dead's download series, oh boy, in the mid-2000s, around 2004, 2005. So it's a great tour. We've released a lot of music from it because it's so good. And this Soldier Field show, I think, is one of the best. At times it is the best, some of the highs. So the first set opens up with a ripping Hell in a Bucket. Bobby's on fire. Jerry's doing some great stuff underneath. The double keyboard arrangement works really well with it. Followed by one of the meatiest, really groovingest shakedown streets you're ever going to hear. The interplay between Jerry and Bruce in particular is just magnificent, but the whole band is on fire for this shakedown street. Oh, a couple of geese coming by. And after that, great Wang Dang Doodle, really a top-notch Wang Dang Doodle. Jerry's got that MIDI horn thing going with his guitar. Friend of the Devil, When I Paint My Masterpiece, and then a couple of classics to end the first set of Brown-Eyed Women and Let It Grow, both of which are just top-notch. The second set, it's almost like it's a dream set list. I mean, to me, I love it. With a Great Foolish Heart, Looks Like Rain, Crazy Fingers, a bit of a tease into Dark Star, but they don't go there yet. And then playing in the band Terrapin Station, always great to see Terrapin Station on the big screen. I don't think we've done too many of them. And then after Drums in Space, bit of a dark star, playing in the band Reprise, beautiful Black Peter, one more Saturday night, and a encore of the band's The Wait. So, I mean, really a terrific set list, but set list aside, the performance quality is magnificent. Really, I mean, I'm going to encourage people to get up and dance. I've listened to this show now, well, I don't know, before we went into production in 2020, thinking about doing this for Meetup at the Movies back in 2020, and more recently in the last kind of 6 or 8 months, I probably listened to it in just those two production modes 20, 25 times. And before that, dozens of times as well. Anyhow, point is, as we were proofing the DVD or the video for Meetup at the Movies this year, I spent a lot of time on my feet dancing. And you know it's good when that happens. I've got a little area in my studio with no windows where no one can see in, and that's where I do my hardest of hardcore dancing. And this show certainly did get me up dancing a whole lot. In particular, I mean, the bucket did for sure, but the Shakedown Street, you can't not. It's so good. So I encourage you to get in the aisles, assuming the fire marshal in your local theater will let you. I bet they will. And get up and dance. It's a really, really terrific show, and one that is going to have you up and dancing. So again, go to meetupatthemovies.com and you'll find out through either entering your city or your zip code where it's playing near you, and or go to the Grateful Dead's website, dead.net, and you'll see it there. So I'm going to keep this brief because I tend to use these videos more the long forms for the Dave's Picks announcements. And the box set announcements and things like that. But I do love doing these occasional things where we get to talk about special projects, which Meetup at the Movies certainly is. This is the 11th annual. We love it. You know, we work on the archival side of things primarily at Rhino and in the Vault. So it's nice when on the archival side we get to bring people together. In the case of Meetup at the Movies, thousands of people. I mean, my local theater had easily a few dozen people, certainly. I wouldn't say hundreds, but a lot of people in a city that, you know, I didn't even know there were that many deadheads here, which is great. But I've heard of some theaters in places like Portland and New York and Chicago and San Francisco, the kind of deadhead strongholds, as we call them, with literally hundreds of people in these theaters. So go have fun. And if it's not loud enough, go ask your theater manager to turn it up. They probably will. They usually are pretty cool about that. I've done it before for other things. My theater last year here in British Columbia did play it quite loud, which was a nice surprise, and it made us all very happy. We were having a really good time. I keep looking over because there's an eagle sitting on a chimney over there. There's somebody's chimney, and there's an eagle sitting on top of it. Anyhow, check it out, dead.net or meetupatthemovies.com. It is, like I say, it's probably playing at a theater near you. Get grooving for the Shakedown Street. The Let It Grow is amazing to end that first set, but the second set, it's relentless. The Foolish Heart, the Terrapin Station, Black Peter, one more Saturday night rocks. Bruce is having fun. That's a really great piano song. Vince is playing great. He's now been in the band for about almost a year. He joined in September of 1990. So just a lot going on in the Grateful Dead world, and boy, they played really well on the summer tour of 1991. So check it out, meetupatthemovies.com. And it's the June 22nd, 1991 show, the Grateful Dead's first ever performance at Soldier Field in Chicago, and it is a top-notch Grateful Dead show. Got my little remote control. I'm going to try and shut the camera off with that. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in theaters very soon, June 22nd and June 24th of this year. Meet Up at the Movies. See you there.